Hello, friends. Welcome to this week's Pick a Card Tarot reading, where you pick a card and together we'll discover what wisdom it holds for us. Please be sure to watch all the way till the end, as I have a free gift just for you. Now let's begin. If you're new to Pick a Card Tarot readings or this channel, the way this works is I will cut the deck into 3 piles of cards, and we will reveal the top card of each pile so that you can make a choice of one or any of the cards that resonates with you. And then from there, we'll draw a reading for each pile. So this week's choices, we will have the Five of Cups, the King of Swords, and the World, one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck. So please take a moment and consider what choice you would like for this week. Leave a comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon so that you never miss a new upload. So first up, we have the Five of Cups. If you chose the Five of Cups, you might be struggling with some discontent in your life, or perhaps some form of emotional pain or trauma, or just indecision, some conflicting thoughts and feelings. Let's see what wisdom we have for you going forward this week. So we have the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Six of Cups. Spirit tells me that you're discontent at a situation that should actually bring you some happiness or joy. A new opportunity or endeavor or opportunity to engage in a new endeavor has presented itself to you, sort of the spark of it, the beginning of it at least, a possibility of this new thing. Most likely in your job or career, possibly in some other endeavor that your passions are behind. So this thing has presented itself to you in your life. In a sense, it's the thing that you've been wanting and working for. And yet something about it has created this emotional upheaval. So perhaps you were offered a raise. Maybe you got offered a raise with a promotion, but it's not the job position you wanted, or you have to relocate to take this job, just as an example. But basically, the thing that you've wanted and been working for and moving towards has arrived, and yet you are not happy with it, even though it should be satisfying you. It's the thing you've wanted. And so that's a very problematic situation for us to be in life. And I've experienced this so many times. It was very much one of my great struggles in life, is to be wanting and desiring things and impatient about them. You know, when is this going to happen for me? It'll never happen. It can't happen soon enough. And as soon as it does, I would find every problem with it. You know, so again, the thing I wanted to get, like, for example, I'd get a new car, and first day I have it, I start stressing about its care and maintenance. It doesn't quite work the way I expected it, or it doesn't have the cup holders in quite the right place, and that kind of thing, or whatever it is. a thing that I should just be very happy and grateful for, I would find some sort of problem with it, sort of clinging to my own discontent. We very easily in life sort of can become addicted to worry and complaining and that sort of thing. And that's just the place I was in for a lot of my life. And so for you, if you're struggling with this, I sense that this discontent is rooted in a feeling of lack of control. Even though you've been striving for and wanting this thing, you have, it's happening almost too quickly, I think. It presented itself to you before you were truly ready for it or feel ready for it. Again, maybe you're not ready to, say, relocate, or you don't feel like you can step into this new position, like you can't handle the responsibility, which is necessary in order to get that raise that you wanted. And again, those are fairly hypothetical things, but they give you an idea of what the kind of thing you're probably struggling with here. And so it's kind of come galloping in, marching in here as the Knight of Cups, and a lot of this emotional response. So there's been a lot of emotional ups and downs surrounding this situation. And so it's hard to feel good and to see the goodness in it. The universe is advising you here, one, to relax as much as you can. Practice some acceptance here, which is very difficult, again, for all of us. The Hanged Man is very much the card of, it's a message of sort of practicing discomfort. And so we see the Hanged Man here. He's hanging upside down by his foot, which can't be comfortable at all. He has one leg crossed in sort of this inverted sort of yoga pose. And we see this light emanating from his head. And so what that symbolizes is the potential to gain something great by going through this discomfort. We don't get the sense that this man is struggling or fighting to get down from this position, but he has found a greater enlightenment as signified by the light, the halo of light around his head, by practicing this discomfort. And you can think of patterns of this in your own life. Anything that you've started to do that you weren't instantly good at, that didn't come easily to you, involves some discomfort, some feelings or fear of failure, perhaps physical discomfort. You know, if you've gone into, say, a new program of exercise, or you took up yoga or something at some point in your life, as we all know, when we first start doing those things, it's uncomfortable, and we have to stick with it and work through that and embrace the adversity of it. And through that, we find that enlightenment and that balance. And another symbol of this in the card, I always see in the Hanged Man, is sort of the legs of the Hanged Man, where one of them is crossed. And in fact, if we flip it upside down, we kind of see this, there's sort of a figure 8 to his body in a sense. His legs almost make sort of the number 4 sort of flipped around. And the number 4 is a very significant number in numerology in terms of a new balance of things, a new status quo, and one that is better than it was before. And so that's the universe telling you that you need to lean into this and allow it to be as it becomes more discomforting. One strength that you have on your side that you may not be aware of is the ability to approach this with sort of this childlike eyes. And this goes hand in hand with the acceptance piece of this. And so here the universe is telling you that try to have fun with this as much as you can. It may be discomforting. It might be awkward at first, but try to approach it as you did when you were a child. So when you were a kid, you would say, make a drawing, or you'd go play a sport or engage in an activity for the first time, and you really didn't worry much. In your as a young child, you would just do it, and you really didn't worry much about whether you were doing it right or how do I look and that sort of thing. And as we grow older, we have these attachments and fears that come with them. The attachment to how we're viewed by other people, the attachment to what is my success and failure, the attachment to the results of our actions or our activities. And so you can find the strength to have this acceptance and to get through this by sort of returning to that childlike ignorance of things. And so really try to lean into that. And if you must, take some time and reflect, what were some things from my childhood that I just loved doing and I didn't really care about sort of the results of them, and really try to think back to those things and how you felt, the innocence of it. And that will help give you the renewed strength to go forward with your struggles, and you will be able to step into this new opportunity and take full advantage of it. Next up, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a symbol of influence and authority from someone who is well established and well practiced in their role of leadership, in their role of intellect. And so this might be another person in your life, possibly a male figure, or just someone of great influence, a parent perhaps, or a boss or employer. Or it might reflect something in your own life. Maybe you are someone who is in a position of leadership and authority to others, in a position of great influence, and you need to use your intellect and ability to communicate to effectively fulfill this role. I sense that the King of Swords here is more of an internal representation of your situation. That is to say, you're the person who's in the position of authority in some way, in a position of influence over others. This may be in your family life. It may also be in your working life and career. And the conflict for you here, what you're struggling with, is this sense of this drive to move things forward. So perhaps there's a feeling of stagnation here, and that you need to move your team, your family, the people around you, the people, whoever it is that you're leading and influencing. You're feeling a great need to sort of get them moving forward. And that's that sense of urgency I see from the Knight of Swords here. The conflict is that in some ways you're perhaps struggling with this. There's a fear on your part of seeming too harsh. The fear that perhaps the people around you aren't prepared and ready to move forward, or that they're not able to progress quickly or at the speed that you'd like, or that your conveyance of this message to them to get them going, it will not be well received in some way. Perhaps you are in of a rush, too much of a rush. Your sense of urgency might be coming from more of a place of anxiety and worry and sense of lack, more than it being beneficial to sort of act hastily in this situation. You are a very accomplished leader here. And so you are being very wise about this, the fact that you are tuning into all this and taking it into consideration. And the universe might be saying to you, you might need to hold up a bit, and not necessarily hold up in your actions or moving things forward, but you need to take some time to really consider how you're going to convey this message to the people around you, the people that you're influencing and leading. They are your friends. They are people who you have a strong bond with, and a good one, and they will follow you. But if you are too harsh with them, they will react poorly. There will be conflict there. And so we see on the left and right of you, we see these very feminine energies here. We see the energy of the Empress. And the Empress is a card of fertility, kindness, the sort of really, like, basically in a metaphysical sense, the sense of pregnancy, of gestation. And so this is telling you to sort of take some time and really allow your approach, really take some reflection, and allow the approach and way you're going to go about this to really sort of marinate in your own self. Do not act hastily here. And so really think about how you're going to present this and communicate this to the people involved. Allow yourself to sit with that and really meditate on how that will be received, how you can best present this in a way that will be kind and compassionate to those that you are communicating to. And take some time with that. And then when you're ready, know that you do have the ability to speak clearly and confidently to others, to wield that influence. If you take that time and get right with your intuition, you will be able to spur these people into action, to get them moving forward in the direction they need to. And everyone will be on the same page. And it will only strengthen your sense of friendship and community with those folks, whether they're family, friends, coworkers, or others in your community. For our last choice, we have the World. The World is one of my favorite cards. It's the last of the major arcana in the tarot. And the World, really, in modern days, we could call it the universe. We could call it source or creation or spirit, or some might even say God. It is the infinite churning wheel, the potential of all things from which our material world becomes manifest. And so what does the World have for us this week? If you've chosen the World, you are in a place where you're probably feeling that. You're probably feeling, or maybe you need to be more reunited with that sense that you are the infinite creator of your reality, that you are a manifestation, a facet of the infinite power of the universe. And that makes you a very special and powerful person when you are truly connected with that. In your case this week, these feelings, this sense, is mostly directed at your wealth, perhaps also your physical health and well-being. And there is a sense of newness or urgency coming. So you are sort of longing or feeling a need for a greater sense, a greater abundance in life. Maybe you're feeling a bit of a financial crunch. Or again, this can be other physical things. This can be your physical health. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of the ravages of age today. A few bits of the new aches and pains that you hadn't felt before, perhaps. Or maybe even a more serious health condition that you're struggling with. And so you are longing and getting a small sense that a new, renewed sense of health or new sources of income and wealth are going to be coming to you. But you're eager for them. You're feeling, again, this sense of lack. And to some extent, you are struggling a bit with the thinking part of this. So you're feeling a bit of lack, or again, maybe feeling a bit tired or run down and feeling like I need something new. Where is this solution coming from, for this? Where is this coming from? Something has to appear here in my reality to help solve this. And so to some extent, you're feeling a bit conflicted. You're maybe feeling a bit blinded by this, in the sense that you need to get this thing going. You need to make this happen. And the mind kicks in and tells us we have to do things to solve these problems. And maybe you don't feel like any immediate solution is at hand. You can't think of the solution. It's a very common theme we come into in readings because it's just part of human life so often. And so this is a bit of a call here in the Two of Swords to pull back from the thinking and the trying to solve everything. A reminder that the universe is here doing its thing, and that it will provide for you everything that you need. And beyond just what your basic and immediate needs, but everything that you're meant to have in life. And that includes the things you desire, this new wealth, this renewed sense of health and vitality. So step into intuition here. Try to let go of the fears that underlie this sense of urgency and the sort of panic and anxiety that comes with that, because you can't see the way forward. It takes a lot of force and momentum to move things forward. But here we see the Chariot, which is powerful and has a lot of momentum. But it takes a lot to get it moving. There's a lot of inertia there. It's a big, heavy thing. And yet we see here the charioteer has no reins. He is steering and guiding this chariot through sheer force of will, through the union of his intellect and intuition. And that plays back to the Two of Swords here. Again, another sort of union of thought and feelings and the balance of those things. So try to pull back from thinking your way out of this situation. Try to reflect on what you already have. That's the guidance here from our Seven of Coins. Along with understanding that everything that you need is on its way, and it will appear in due time when it's meant to. The plants that you've planted are growing. The seeds of your abundance, your health, your wealth, and prosperity have been put there, and they are being nurtured by the creative force of the universe. And you need to allow that to happen. You know, if you've ever planted a garden or grown a plant of any kind, you know that you prepare the soil, you plant the seed, you feed and water that seed, and that's all you do. You can't hasten the process of growing and bearing fruit by doing anything else to that seed. It has to be given the space and time and nutrients and air and things that it needs to grow. And that requires time and patience. So try not to watch and wait for that seed to sprout. The longer you stand there and stare at it, the longer it's going to take. Pull back a bit, distract yourself with some healthy things, and allow this to happen. It is coming, and the universe has your back. And that concludes this week's Pick a Card Tarot reading. I hope these messages have resonated with you. Again, please leave a comment and let me know. And if you'd like to explore any of these topics further in your own life, I am offering a free mini tarot reading personalized just for you. And you can find links in the description for this video or in the comments to get your free tarot reading. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.